Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to really pull out the key insights from different sources, helping you get, truly well informed. Today, we're looking at a framework that builds on something pretty foundational in understanding people. You probably know Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs from way back in 1943. It really changed the game for thinking about human motivation. This whole idea that you need the basics covered, like safety, belonging, before you can really reach for self-actualization, becoming your best self, that kind of thing. So what if there's another framework, just as vital, but looking through a really specific and critical lens? Our deep dive today is all about Joshua Bovill's hierarchy of needs for Black boys in school. Bovill created this as a tailored response, culturally responsive, addressing the unique stuff, the experiences, and frankly, the systemic hurdles Black boys often face in, typical school settings. It's like taking Maslow's universal truth, but focusing it, sharpening it for a group whose path might look different.
Exactly. And that's our mission today, really, to unpack this framework. It's powerful and it's built for context. We want to break down its structure. There are these 4 levels and look at the really practical strategies it offers educators, and also, crucially, understand why it's so important. For academic success, sure, but also for, personal growth for Black boys. What's interesting, I think, is how it really focuses on the specific environments, the day-to-day realities these students are in. And it gives actual steps, things teachers can do. It's about how to provide support in a way that actually lands, that resonates.
Okay, so let's dig in. Starting at the bottom, the foundation. Bovill calls it roots of support, fundamental needs. It echoes Maslow, right? Physiological needs first. Bovill starts there too. Physical, emotional, psychological safety. Things that maybe surprisingly can get overlooked in schools. We sort of assume safety, but
it's not always felt, especially that psychological safety piece. It can be very different depending on the student.
Right, so practically, how does Bovill suggest we build these roots? One idea is implementing daily check-ins. Simple, but effective. Starting the day just gauging where students are at mentally, emotionally, seeing who might need a bit more support. It's about that consistent touch point, not just a casual, how are you? And another big one, resource mapping. Actually giving families maps to community services, food banks, healthcare, things like that. Removing those basic external roadblocks to learning.
And this connects so clearly to research on relationships in schools. Hattie's work, for instance. Teacher-student relationships have a pretty significant effect size, 0.52. When those relationships are strong, students feel safer, they feel they can ask for help. And that feeling, that safety, is just fundamental for getting those basic needs met. It's not just about the teacher offering, it's about the student feeling okay to admit they need something.
It's huge, isn't it? How much unlocks just from feeling safe and supported. So once that foundation is there, Bovill moves to the next level. Circle of community, belonging and connection. This really tackles that feeling, or lack of feeling, of belonging that Black boys can experience in school. Feeling seen, respected, included. It's about building real connections with peers, with the school itself.
A really critical piece. If you don't feel like you belong somewhere, how can you possibly thrive there?
Exactly. So strategies here. First, cultural affirmation. This means consciously weaving culturally relevant stuff into lessons. Books, history, examples where Black boys can actually see themselves, their experiences reflected. Not just tokenism, but real integration. Second, he pushes for strategic PLC discussions. Professional learning communities, asking tough questions in those meetings, like who benefited from this lesson and who didn't, being honest about who might be getting left behind. And third, mentorship programs, connecting boys with mentors who maybe share similar backgrounds, who've walked a similar path. That shared experience can be incredibly powerful.
And think about this. Collective teacher efficacy. Hattie pegs this one at a massive 1.57 effect size. What that tells us is when the whole staff believes collectively that they can make a difference for these students.
They actually do.
They do. They're much more likely to actively build those inclusive communities where Black boys feel valued. It's that shared belief driving real action, creating that circle of community.
Which leads us logically to the next level, right? The tower of validation, esteem and recognition. Like Maslow's 4th tier, this is about esteem. Bovill stresses that Black boys need to feel validated, recognized for their efforts, their unique strengths, not just for hitting academic targets or, being good at sports. It's about acknowledging the whole person.
Yeah, seeing them for who they are and what they bring.
So how do educators build this tower? One way is strength-based feedback, giving frequent, specific, positive feedback, highlighting what students are actually doing well, building their confidence by focusing on their strengths. Another is using recognition systems, but systems that recognize things like perseverance, growth, character, focusing on the effort, not just the outcome. And crucially, Bovill says this validation has to go beyond athletics, recognizing achievements in arts, leadership, academics, everything.
And this ties into research on feedback itself. Effective feedback has an effect size of 0.70, according to Hattie. That's significant. When feedback is meaningful, when it's tailored, when it really speaks to their progress and their strengths, it really boosts that self-esteem. It helps Black boys stay engaged, push through challenges, and find success. It's seeing them, not just their work.
Okay, so we've built safety, community, validation. Now we reach the top, the summit of achievement, self-actualization. This is Bovill's highest level, realizing one's full potential. The goal here is ensuring Black boys leave school with a real sense of purpose, confidence, and the belief they can achieve their dreams. It's about goal setting and, importantly, ownership of their learning.
Taking the reins of their own journey.
Exactly. Practical strategies, goal-setting workshops, teaching students how to set goals academic, personal, that are realistic, actionable, and actually interesting to them, empowering them to sort of map out their own future. And another big one, project-based learning. Getting students involved in projects that need critical thinking, problem solving, and connecting those projects to real-world issues they care about, making learning relevant, impactful.
It's interesting how research backs this up, too. Things like mastery learning effect size 0.58, or even self-reported grading, which has a huge effect size, 1.33. These basically show that students learn best when they feel they have ownership, when they're in the driver's seat of their own progress. So empowering Black boys to set goals, reflect, direct their learning, that's how you help them reach that summit. It fosters real agency.
It's such a thoughtful structure, and it helps to know a bit about the person behind it, Joshua Bovill. He's an educator, speaker, founder of the Right Way Foundation. You can really feel his practical in-the-trenches experience in this framework. It's part of the book he has coming out, The Ultimate Guide to Teaching and Reaching Black Boys, January 2025, I think.
Yeah, and his background really grounds it all. He was dean of student leadership, co-athletic director. He even coached a championship football team. That kind of range shows he connects with kids in lots of different ways. People say his teaching style is, fun, energetic, really positive. He does creative stuff, collaborative projects like Shark Tank initiatives, always linking things back to the real world, bringing in community leaders. He's clearly not just teaching, he's mentoring. He's living these principles, whether it's checking in during class or apparently even joining in dodgeball games.
You can definitely see that lived experience reflected in the framework's practicality.
Yeah.
So wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway for you, our listeners? Bovill's hierarchy, really, it's a blueprint, a practical guide for educators, for anyone involved with young people. It shows how to create environments where Black boys aren't just present, but truly supported, seen, and empowered to reach their potential. It builds on Maslow, but adds that vital layer of cultural responsiveness.
Absolutely. And maybe the final thought, the thing to chew on is this. Think about how applying these kinds of specific strategies born from really understanding the unique needs of a group, how that could ripple outwards. It's not just about transforming lives in one classroom, right? It could inspire us to rethink how we foster potential, how we create equity in any setting. So the challenge maybe is to ask yourself, in your world, in your sphere of influence, what specific roots of support could you strengthen? What circles of community could you help build? How can you better support someone's journey to their own summit, wherever they might be starting from?